Hi everyone, it's Joel and Andy at Codebreak with a lockdown special podcast. We're working from home and recording from home, and today we're talking about why SEO is bollocks. Andy, how you doing?
Yeah, very good. Apart from seeing this awful Zoom picture of me, don't like it at all. But maybe I'm just anti-Zoom now. I've had enough. I've had enough of Zoom. I want to be back in the office. I want to be like speaking to people face to face. But it is what it is.
Well, we 5 days into a lockdown and you're done.
I'm done with Zoom. Got to be honest. I remember how awesome video conferencing was, but yeah, face to face. Even an antisocial bugger like me, I'm missing face to face. That's how bad it is, Joel.
Yeah. If you can't get social cues face to face, you're going to struggle over Zoom.
Yeah, and if you have more than, so me and you recording over Zoom, two of us, we obviously got the video switched off, so hence just seeing the thumbnail of me, so we can have better quality recording. But if there's more than two of you and you are literally seeing each other's faces, it's guaranteed that one of you is going to have a really shit internet connection, which just makes the whole process so painful.
Yeah, and we've really discovered how unreliable the British internet infrastructure is this year. So,
Absolutely. Anyway, enough about my moaning. How are you?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm all right. I've had a productive weekend, productive
Excellent.
Monday. So
No accidents, no diving accidents, nothing like that.
no, well, not. I had to build a bed this weekend, a flat pack bed. So I could have had a few accidents, but I managed to do it injury free.
Excellent. You got
So
the proper mattress this time.
yeah, the replacement came.
You're
All
still
good.
married.
Yeah, hell hasn't opened up and swallowed me yet, so that's good.
Excellent. So SEO's bollocks then, I hear, Joel.
Well, that was your idea.
Yeah, I suppose it was. So yeah, if so let's right, lockdown special. Lots of people, lots of businesses are looking for a quick fix. Now, of course, in an ideal world, no one would need a quick fix. You know, they keep their marketing consistent. So good times, bad times, things are steady, and we like steady. We like peaks, but we don't like the troughs you have to put up with. So
Yeah.
if a business out there does need a quick fix because of lockdown, because suddenly traffic to their websites has dropped because the competition online has seriously hotted up, then SEO will be bollocks for you. SEO is a long-term strategy. If you need more traffic to your website because you need more inquiries and more sales right now, fuck SEO. You need to pay for ads.
Yeah, it's
There
a
we go.
tricky one.
Podcast done.
Yeah, the end. Dun, 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 dun. No. Yeah, it's. I think it'd be a really frustrating one for business owners to hear this, because I'm sure they've put years of effort into their SEO, and yet they're on page one of Google, but there's nowhere to go once you're on page one. It's once you're number one, there's nowhere for you to progress onto. So if you're still not getting the traffic you need at that point, SEO isn't going to fix that. Or if you're on page 20 and you need traffic right now, again, SEO is not going to fix that. And that's not to say you shouldn't be thinking about your business in the long term, and you shouldn't be trying to get to number one on Google and, getting lots of organic traffic. But the time investment to do that is significant. And there's a lot of businesses right now that haven't got time.
Absolutely. I mean, we run SEO for a lot of businesses, and we always make it very clear it's a long-term strategy. It's a great strategy because, yeah, let's face it, if someone's sat there literally typing in what they need and it's what you offer, and you're there first, second, and fifth organically, happy days, job done. But like you say, if you're already there but you're not getting enough traffic, or you are on page no man's land, you need to do something now, then you have some really good and pretty, let's face it, pretty cheap online advertising offerings available. And it's just gets, I could end this podcast now and go and spend 15 minutes putting together a Facebook ad campaign. I suppose, yeah, I can do that because I've been doing that a long time. I can do it, and hopefully Facebook would approve those ads. I don't know, let's say within half an hour. Job done. I can be reaching out to specific people, the people most likely to buy from us, within an hour, basically.
Yeah.
Not 4 months. And okay, SEO doesn't have to cost you money. It will always cost you money in terms of your time and the knowledge to implement it properly. But I would just rather just hand over the readies and get it, get traffic, the right traffic to my site right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've just been writing a proposal and I've literally put the line in. Imagine knowing how much it would cost to acquire a subscriber and how quickly that will happen. And
But do you think? I mean, sometimes I wonder whether we bang on about this too much. But then, probably at least a couple of times a week, someone will be not outraged necessarily, but thinking, "Oh my God, Andy, you keep banging on about having to spend money to acquire customers," and it's like, well, is the message still not sunk in? When you go networking, you have to pay money to be a part of that group. When you go door knocking, you don't have to pay money, but you're giving up your time. So again, yes, you are paying money. Everything costs. And I can't get my head around it. But I think some business owners just wish that inquiries came to them free of charge by the magic of fairies or something.
yeah, and and I think
Oh, speaking of fairies, bloody hell, did you watch the opening of season 2 of His Dark Materials last night?
no, I never even finished the last
Some
series.
serious flying fairy shit in that. Well, they were witches really, but it was amazing.
Really?
Amazing.
So,
Yeah,
so
just like this witch and a demon flying through a storm at like 100 miles. Oh wow. Yeah, you tell there's some HBO money behind that. The BBC wouldn't be doing that on their own.
you've made it sound good now.
Yeah. So did you watch the first season then?
I watched the first episode and wasn't interested.
Oh, blimey, you got a shorter attention span than I have.
Not for me. Not for me. That
Well,
one.
funny enough, my youngest daughter wanted to watch it, and I was like, Holly, I've got to be honest, I'm pretty confused of what's going on. So I'm not sure. Anyway, she binged the first season twice. Loves it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
So
really
so
cool.
so so last night at 8:10 on BBC One, I think that was probably the first real live television program Holly's watched this year.
Wow, that's cool. Did you all sit down and watch it?
We all sat down and watched it together. In fact, we turned on the telly. No, Holly came downstairs at, I think, 2 or 3 minutes past 8. And I was like, no, no, it's not on yet. And Emma was like, oh, don't worry, well, she can come in now. And yeah, she sat there for 7 minutes going, oh, 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 oh. Can we fast forward? Can we get to, no, again, this is real, real life television. There's nothing I can do until 8:10, Holly. So it was the longest 7 minutes of her life, I think. But it was very good. It was a lovely, lovely way to spend a Sunday evening.
That's cool. That's cool.
God,
Where
talk
were
everything
we?
today. Fairies, witches, SEO.
Oh yeah, you were talking about some people want business to come from the fairies. That was it.
Magically
So
bring it in.
I think something I stumble across a lot is if somebody sells something for £500, they expect to make a big profit the first time they sell it, forgetting that that person might become a customer for a lot longer than that first transaction. And so then their marketing costs seem really high because they're like, well, I'm not even going to break even on selling them something.
Yeah, welcome to business.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And I think that that's becoming more apparent now. A lot more people are becoming a lot more digitally savvy, having to take their businesses online. They're starting to understand that your break-even point on a customer isn't necessarily going to be their first purchase or their second purchase or their third purchase. But once you've got them into your ecosystem and they're loyal to your brand, the sort of the fifth, sixth, seventh purchase might nearly be all profit. So
Absolutely, and the referrals they can make to, the people they hang around with will probably be quite similar to them, so going to be more likely to buy off you, and still, that's not free. The wonderful word of mouth that is up there with fairy dust. Word of mouth still costs money as well because it means you are getting those customers and you're paying money to look after those customers, and then hopefully they generate referrals for you. So it's a cruel world, but it all costs.
and let's face it, if someone's referring you a lot of work, if you're not sending them something to say thank you, you are missing a trick. You are massively missing a trick.
Oh God! Oh, if you think how much work we've referred to various businesses over the years, I mean, hundreds of thousands of pounds. Sometimes I remember I referred someone to a client of ours, well, ex-client of ours, I should say. They disappeared a few years ago. It was something like a 4 or 5 grand job. You know what? I didn't hear a dicky bird off them. It's like, oh my God! I mean, I'm not expecting like bloody bottle of wine and a spa break, but just a phone call or a text would have been nice. But
Yeah,
maybe she's so we're just old-fashioned and believing in things like manners.
it goes a long way. It goes a long way, even in times like these. I think those kind of traditional, that's a horrible way to put it, but yeah, traditional values are really go a long way. I mean,
manners maketh man, and indeed woman, Joel.
yeah, exactly that. Exactly. Just gratitude. I think gratitude is a hugely unused trait.
Do you want me? I can bring in that jumper that Emma bought. Maybe I can start wearing that. It says "Gratitude is the new attitude" on it.
Is that a jumper she bought for you?
No, it's just one she bought for herself. I think to
I was gonna say,
constantly reinforce the message to me.
That's what I thought. Did she buy it for you out of irony?
She alternates in that one and one that just says kale. As I'm like, that's what you're having for tea. Don't ask.
Yeah.
Fucking kale again.
And be grateful.
And I'm not joking. I actually have got kale tonight with a corn fillet.
Oh, well, I mean, this makes us sound like a terrible pair of humans, but I got left with butternut squash soup for lunch today.
Oh, I hate butternut. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, I don't really like butternut squash.
There's something inherently British about it. It's wintertime. I must eat nothing but soup.
And then because butternut squash tastes crap, you put loads of spice in the soup to make it interesting. But then I just spent lunchtime on fire, so...
Oh, butternut squash. Yeah, so what's Emma's got? Emma makes cauliflower and tofu soup. Now, I'm very grateful. Don't get me wrong. I'm working from home, getting on her nerves. I'm very grateful that I've got a wife who's kind enough to make me lunch. But yes, I would be sat here with my soup, dreaming of Subway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm looking at now? Apart from this horrible thumbnail of me on Zoom, where I've got about 5 chins. Got to get some photos done. I'm looking at my new bicycle pressure washer. I was in the middle of unwrapping it. It's on our dining room table, and I've noticed now on the lid as you open it, it says only the unprepared are overcome by pressure. How cool is that?
Do you reckon that's true?
What a nice little touch, though, to have something like that. You open it up, and that's the first thing you think, bloody hell, that's
you
cool.
You weren't very prepared on Saturday when you fell off.
Oh, God, don't. Don't know what that was. I think I was just going literally too fast for gravity.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
That's what I've heard.
I don't know what happened, but the sympathy I've been getting has been literally negligible at best.
Yeah, I thought it was, well, at least Joel will be nice to me on Monday. No.
Nah. I had one mate joke about getting stabilizers. That was probably the closest I got to making sure I was okay. Even my mum didn't call me, but my mother-in-law did. So there we go. That was nice. But then her son, so my brother-in-law, he came off his bike a couple of years ago, and he properly cracked his head. And if he hadn't been wearing a helmet, he'd have been in some serious trouble.
So here's me pulling the podcast back to topic.
Oh, okay. That was subtle.
The bicycle pressure
I'm okay,
washer.
everyone, by the way.
Yeah, he's fine. The bicycle pressure washer. How did you find out about that?
So this is a company called Muck-Off and MUC. No K, let's be wacky. And probably anyone in the bicycle world knows about them. But when I was mad on my bicycle when I was going to say mad biking, but that's probably a motorbike, isn't it? But when I was a kid and a teenager, loved my bike, but then the usual, discovered like alcohol and girls and stuff and stopped riding my bike. So took up road biking 6-7 years ago. So really didn't know much about what a change in the world of bikes and bike maintenance and stuff. And I did probably what most people did. I went on to Google and there was a sponsored listing for this thing called Muck-Off to clean your bike. And they provide all the liquids and cloths and all that shit. And now obviously I've upgraded a few years later to getting their pressure washer. But that's what it was. It was a paid for ad on Google. I'm sure they were probably there organically as well. I don't know, but it's a very competitive market, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I said it.
That's we could almost script these, Joel.
Yeah, no planning, zero planning, and we got there with that. So I'm assuming you saw this sponsored ad. You checked out the reviews, all good, order placed.
Almost. They did what would be the next logical step, and what we encourage all our clients to do is that if you sell over a certain price, and appreciate price means different things to different people in terms of what's a low price and a high price. But this pressure wash, I think, 140 quid, something like that. So not massively expensive, but not a tenner either. I thought, okay, that looks cool. I'll do a bit of digging. So guess what? They've obviously got a retargeting ad in place because I started getting stalked by this pressure washer, and probably a week or so later, after seeing the ad for whatever the 10th time, yeah, I bought it and it's arrived today, and I'm very happy. So paid for advertising followed by retargeting. Oh, Joel, it makes me happy.
So what you mean by retargeting is those ads that when you look at something, they track you around the internet
Yes,
afterwards. Yeah.
yes. And it's probably, I mean, probably a good fortuitous point to talk about a client of ours, a newish client of ours, who's a bit wary of retargeting because he's very, very anti-spam, and he really
Mm.
hates it when he sees the same ad a few times. It's taken a bit of hand-holding, a bit of education to go over this point, because you've got to realize that people won't buy off you when they see it once. Or they could do, but the chance of some buying off you after seeing one ad are,
Mm.
let's face it, pretty slim.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, that, because a lot of people that we work with, a lot of our clients, and they won't mind me saying, uh, come from a pre-digital age. So their business expertise is very much based around building rapport, building trust, face-to-face interaction. And they don't know what that's been replaced with. So the only way you can really build that kind of trust now is to appear established, and you won't appear established if your adverts only show to people once.
Hmm.
And so your adverts have got to look good, they've got to read well, they've got to press on the points that that person might be interested in, or the problem that person might be trying to solve, but then they've also got to show to that person several times to kind of drum it home, really.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, people, especially, us being British, we hate the hard sell. So if I had walked into a bike shop and there was this bike pressure washer, the guys in there, especially if we're talking pre-digital, they know that once I left the shop, that was it,
Mm.
sale lost. So they have to turn the screws a little bit. And to be honest, some shops are still like it now. And if you don't like hard pressure, maybe an alternative, you put up with ads like this that, okay, sometimes it can be annoying if an advertiser does get it wrong and they do show you an ad, bloody 20 times a day. That can be annoying. But to be honest, if that's the hardest thing going on in your life, like all these people that moan about, oh, someone tried to sell to me via a LinkedIn message. Oh, how offended I am. It's like, for fuck's sake. Some people in this world have got real problems.
Oh
So
yeah.
so I think retargeting, if it's done correctly, is it's a no-brainer, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's so much smarter than that now too. If you've looked at a product